what could possibly be coming for us in this whole COVID-19 thing. You know, you look at China, you look at Italy, you look at Spain, you look at all these countries. And aside from the virus itself, if we are anything like these other countries, what is also coming is a huge spike in divorce rates after people are spending too much time together under coronavirus home quarantine. In the last 3 weeks, one office in China saw 300 couples applying for divorces. So we kind of joked about this before, but there's some truth to it. You get people who previously were working, now they're not working, so you're stressed about money, and you're cooped up in the same house with your kids because they're not in school. Self-isolated couples spending too much time together. One city in China has put a daily limit to allow no more than 10 couples to divorce per day.
Oh.
Jeez.
So there you go.
I don't get it. Why don't they just go to a separate wing of the house?
Wing of the house? Some people are living in a giant box with a roof on it.
Right.
Wing of the house.
You know I'm not serious, right? Like just
I don't know when you're serious
go
sometimes.
to the man
and when-
cave.
Yeah, you just make a
Right.
little like tent out of cushions and blankets, a blanket fort.
Little fort.
And go, I'm going to go in my blanket fort. You stay over there for a little while, and then you can have a turn.
Yeah.
I think some men would rather dig a hole in the backyard than spend like a whole day with their wife and kids.
Make like a little, you get that fort, but it also kind of serves as like a little triage tent too, should you need it.
I imagine there's going to be
You what?
I said I imagine there's going to be a lot of like tree houses being built during this time.
Tree houses built? Just so the guy can go up there and sit?
I look at porn and like little nudie mags.
Yeah. So a lot of people in China filing for divorce.
Divorce sucks, Frank. It's a killer.
Yeah, divorce is a killer. You're right. Trump had a press conference earlier where they're kind of upping the ante a little bit. He's saying for the next 15 days, regardless of age or health status, they're recommending avoiding gatherings where 10 or more people are present.
10 or more? Damn.
Halt all discretionary travel. Basically, stop going out. It's bad. It's bad, Trump said.
Best
There you
words.
go.
Best words.
Fantastic.
You know
So,
what?
There you go. And Mike DeWine
I don't wanna
is
hear
trying. Mike DeWine is he cannot change the date of the primary, but he's, I guess, seeking a court order to move primary voting from tomorrow to June the 2nd.
Well, it's right under the wire. I need to know before I get up
He said we cannot conduct this election tomorrow.
at the ass crack of dawn.
Mike DeWine, by the way, who I think has been doing a pretty good job given everything that's going on. I think he's doing all the news shows because Ohio was pretty aggressive. I think even before there was a case here, he was like, "We're doing this and this and this and this and this."
Trying to get ahead of it.
You're trying to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
And he was on. I watched him on Meet the Press, along with Pritzker, who is the governor of Illinois. So it was watching my current governor and my family's governor on Meet the Press. And, Pritzker was kind of like, look, I was trying to leave it up to people and let them be smart about this. But this is before he closed all the bars and restaurants. And they were like, but they're not. So now I've got to tell you to stay home because you're not listening.
Let's talk about the
So
real
we're going to
stars.
close,
The real stars of all these governors giving their speeches all across the country, especially Mike DeWine, is the sign language interpreters, because they are just serving that information. I don't even hear what he's saying. I don't know what she's saying, but I like it.
I was watching Amy Acton, who's the head of the Ohio Department of Health or whatever. She's been front and center with Mike DeWine in all these press conferences.
Right.
I think she's cute as a button, obviously super smart. And yeah, same thing. I'm fixated on the sign language interpreter because Amy Acton's talking about how, well, this is kind of like a game of whack-a-mole. And so the sign language interpreter is miming whack-a-mole.
It's the best.
I love it. It's my favorite part. I didn't know I was so into news conferences, but they don't always have a sign language interpreter, and that's a mistake.
Second only to the sign language interpreter's stage side at a rep show.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Comedy's fun, too.
Comedy's fun, but I like when they're in more serious situations, and she says something like whack-a-mole, and they got to start acting that out. It's pretty, very enjoyable.
Yeah, the classifiers are really fun. Like
And I think the guy in Georgia, he was like in like this all black, almost tuxedo like suit, and he was doing like he was like way bigger than their governor, so he's doing all this sign language stuff and like kind of he looked like he might be a little gay, and so it's just there's some sass to it, and it was just very enjoyable.
They make a lot of money too.
Do they?
Because they're in they're needed.
Demand?
Yeah, they're in demand.
Well,
And my
they
jaw
know how to
dropped.
negotiate, because what's the first rule of negotiation?
Sign language.
No, you let the other people speak first.
That's right. You're trying to get them to a no, not to a yes. And plus, sign language, you're not touching anybody.
Hey.
Only hearts and minds. Here's Mike
In your
DeWine on
face.
CNN, by the way.
The CDC said that school closures of 2 to 4 weeks are actually unlikely to have an impact on mitigating the spread of this virus. So you do have schools closed there in Ohio for 3 weeks. I wonder if there's a possibility that Ohio schools are going to be closed actually for the remainder of the school year. Is that possible?
Absolutely. Look, the projections, and again, this is all projections. I'm just going by what medical experts are telling us. This may not peak until, the latter part of April or May. So we've informed the superintendents while we've closed schools for 3 weeks that the odds are that, this is going to go on a lot longer, and it would not surprise me at all if schools did not open again this year.
This year.
Oh my God.
Schools closed through the end of the year. Now you're in a weird spot here.
The school year.
No, the year is what he said.
So
I would
I
not
think-
be surprised if schools did not open again this year.
How pissed would you be if
I
you
thought
were a
he meant
senior?
school year too.
I think he
August
means
they
school
would go
year.
No,
back.
no, because he refers to the school year and then says this year.
Okay.
And this is all projections. I'm just going by what medical experts are telling us. This may not peak until, the latter part of April or May. So we've informed the superintendents while we've closed schools for 3 weeks that the odds are that, this is going to go on a lot longer, and it would not surprise me at all if schools did not open again this year.
Maybe he does mean school year.
Yeah.
I
think
took
it's
that
school
to
year.
mean end of the year because
think it
they
means
said
school year.
Well, they're not
okay.
going to open a school in January. I mean, I guess they could do half the year in
But
January.
again, it's a weird thing too because she opens it by going, "Look, the CDC says closing schools not really a help. That doesn't really do much." So that's why closing the schools has been borderline controversial because they're like,
Well,
Now
what are they
everybody's
supposed to
at
do?
home with their
They're going to
kids
let
and-
everybody go to school and then pass the virus around. So I don't
well,
understand.
kids
what
aren't
they
the ones
expect-
who are contracting and passing it. That's the thing. But I guess you can make
could
the argument
be.
that no, statistically, kids aren't getting it.
I think that, or
So
if they
they're
get it,
saying-
they're not dying. I mean,
right.
they're-
So if they're probably teachers could get it, contract it, and
I
give
think
it to
they're
the
erring on the
students.
side of caution.
Yeah.
But again, it's like, my son, he's a freshman at Michigan State. He's home now. Like, freshman year, I feel bad for all these kids that are kind of in this weird spot because, like, freshman year is kind of when you're starting to try to get your adult life underway and you're kind of reinventing yourself and making new friends. They're canceling graduations.
That's what I'm saying. Forget the
you know.
freshmen, the people that this is their senior year of high school and or college. Like, they're not going to graduate.
By the time you're a senior in college, you're already like ready to work. Like you got a job. Hopefully,
Yeah, but you
know.
can't get a job anywhere.
But that's it, you
All
have
the
nothing-
Applebee's are closed.
But I
Everything's
mean,
on
like
hold.
that college
a
degree.
lot of people they're already like going toward their career or whatever. I'm just saying, like, my personal perspective is from somebody who has a kid freshman year in college, and he was there, first semester, and they're home.
I'm way
because they're
more
like we're shutting the
concerned.
dorms down.
I just maybe I'm just oblivious because at that
You
time
are.
I wasn't thinking about it 10 years ago when I had swine flu, but I just don't remember it being this bad. I remember us erring on the
Well,
side
it
of
wasn't.
caution.
No,
It
it
wasn't.
It wasn't
It
nearly
absolutely
this
was
bad.
not.
Because swine flu didn't get to the point that this is.
I feel most bad for people with younger kids because a lot of people aren't qualified to teach children, right? Regardless of if it's homeschooling or not. But if you have a kid in second grade,
Yeah, you
at
mean like
home,
middle school kids?
I mean, yeah, like
elementary school.
elementary and middle school, because I mean, those are very important developmental years, and if you just stop teaching them. Like, because
And
a lot
stop
of people
socializing
they
them?
stop
Like, there's
socializing,
a
they
lot,
stop
yeah.
well anything. I mean, basic functional developments
so-
in their brains are halted because stay-at-home parents are not qualified to teach their kids.
Right, and what you have to do is you have to create all those different facets for them at home. So you need to be a bully, but you also need to be a best friend, and you also need to be a mean lunch lady, and you got to be that librarian that takes you under their wing. So you got to wear a lot of different hats if you're a stay-at-home mom that's also teaching your kid.
You got to be a bully and the lunch lady,
Yeah.
I think is what I've taken away from that. I mean, before they shut it down last night, I took the little one to Mitchell's, right? Get a little bit of ice cream. And it wasn't crazy, but there was a line there. And there was this older couple behind us who knew, I guess their daughter was friends with the girl who was serving us, scooping. So she's like, oh, how's Jenny or whatever? And these parents are like, she's home. You know, she just transferred. So, like, their daughter had just transferred to another school. And then they're like, yeah, school's closed.
Yeah.
So, like,
Oh, you know
Like,
who would
that's
have
gonna
loved
suck.
this? High school Bill Squire. He would have been in heaven. With
Not
all
me.
This. Oh, man, I would have been so happy about
I'd have been the
all this.
worst.
Well, no,
hey,
he-
you know that place you hate? Why don't you go live there in filth forever?
oh,
Get
your house.
locked inside of a hoarder house?
No,
You
but
kidding
high
me?
school Bill Squire would have loved it because he
Yeah.
wanted nothing to do with school.
I didn't want to be at school. I didn't want to be socialized. Any school, Bill Squire. Like, I would have been just happy to be home.
I would have gone crazy.
Me too.
I would have been reading all day long and trying to replicate some kind of
Some sort of
kind of
schedule.
academic structure.
Oh,
well,
man.
I like school, man.
Did
I,
I
you know.
ask?
did.
I asked for extra math homework and stuff.
Well,
all
I
the time.
wasn't doing that. I
I
wasn't
was.
some
Gross.
Nimrod nerd.
Oh, please.
Ask for extra homework.
I would.
My
to
house-
what end?
Whatever.
My
I mean,
house-
I like school, but I didn't want to marry it.
Ugh.
I didn't love it and want to marry it.
my house would have been the house where everyone gathers. Like that's
It's
after
illegal
school.
now, so.
Well, no, not more than 50 people or whatever.
10 or
But-
15.
Yeah, and again, these were kids, and my mom would have like the ice cream sandwiches or the popsicles, and everyone.
Hey, I molest children.
All right.
They wouldn't have let him near anybody.
I was the same age as them back then. Nobody was molesting anybody.
Just because you're a kid doesn't mean you can't molest other kids.
Not if I'm the same age as them.
I tweeted something yesterday. It was kind of clumsy, but I was trying to make the joke that I'm going to wait until everybody panic shops, and I'm going to go choose from what no one wants.
Yeah.
And that's what my pantry's going to be. And I love the rundowns of, like, because we've all seen them. You've seen the shelves. I know the running joke is that even in a crisis, nobody wants to eat vegan crap. They'll show that one photo that gets passed around of the whole vegan food section is untouched.
Dasani
You know,
was getting that same treatment the other day.
Dasani water, yeah.
Why? Why is that? What's wrong with the
I don't know.
I think that was just a new stack that no one saw yet, and no one picked it up.
That's probably what it was, but it's still funny.
Yeah, that nothing's wrong with Dasani water.
No water here but Dasani. Even in a crisis, nobody drinking that trash-ass water.
It's water. It tastes just like every
Dasani
other
does
water.
not taste good. I don't know if.
Is it metallic? Is there like a
No,
little...
it's just like, it tastes like minerals.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, it's
Tastes-
mineral water, right?
Yeah, but it's. No, I think it's like enhanced. I don't know. It sucks.
It tastes
it's
like
not
water.
good.
It just tastes like water.
Bitches call me Dasani because don't nobody want me, bruh.
Dude, I made my first quarantine meal. I had leftover chicken from Hilarities at the weekend. I was like, oh, I'll just pull it and I'll make chicken salad. But I was like, oh, I know how to make chicken salad. So I squeezed a bunch of mayonnaise in there. And then I was like, I don't know what else goes into chicken salad. So I looked it up and I had none of the other ingredients that I needed.
You thought it was just chicken and mayo?
I didn't know what it was. But what I ended up eating was chicken, mayonnaise, pepper, and pickles.
That's pretty close.
Well, you needed like Dijon mustard, a couple different spices, and then they're like, oh, you can add grapes.
Well, yeah,
so
if you want to
can
make it
add this.
taste good, you need all that. But
So
you know,
I basically ate mayonnaise chicken on bread
Yeah.
last night. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to survive.
this is a
Like,
crisis.
the
This is not.
worst.
We don't need full menus.
I
Here.
do like
It's
the
so
idea
gross.
of going to the grocery store when it's all picked over and just ended up with those leftover items. Like, you're like, okay, I got some Hydrox cookies.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
crab
Plain
nut-
chopped.
Chocolate hummus nobody wants.
Chocolate hummus. Ooh.
Pasta made from chickpeas. There's this pasta called Banza. It's made from chickpeas. We eat it all the time. I love it.
Yeah.
So I laughed when somebody sent me the photo of the Banza chickpeas. Dryer sheets.
Eat those.
You don't need, nobody just worrying about dryer sheets. They're fully stocked. But yeah, I didn't realize that Dasani water was taking so much heat.
I can't believe that. I don't believe that.
The meat section's got plenty of pork. Nobody cares about kidney beans or vegan food. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, Hydrox, you're going to find all kinds of off-brand stuff and some on-brand stuff too. It's an interesting social experiment to go through and go, what do huge groups of people want nothing to do with? Because everybody in a group would have a different kind of taste. And you're going to have your usual suspects. You're going to have people, there's a reason some brands are big sellers because everybody likes them. There ain't going to be no Oscar Mayer hot dogs or whatever. But to walk through and see brands that everyone avoids is pretty funny.
How long are hot dogs good for?
I don't think
Is that something I should get?
They're never actually good, so they're always.
Dude, I used to eat cold hot dogs. I'll eat a raw hot dog. I don't care.
Well, because they're already cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I ate a raw hot dog in the last few years.
I think as long as the package is unopened and refrigerated, they can keep a long time.
Yeah.
It's once you open it to.
That's what I'm eating. Is like, so I had like leftovers. I brought in leftovers from last night to eat today, and then I'm like, all right, I'll get through. I know peanut butter and jelly lasts forever, but my bread doesn't. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll eat sandwiches until that's gone.
Get pita bread.
Pita bread lasts longer?
I think longer than regular like loaf bread. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
You can always freeze bread too.
Oh, that's
What?
like the milk. It doesn't taste good when it comes back. Not that, I mean, if we're headed toward that, I'm going to be bitching about, my bread doesn't taste as good when it's thawed. It's going to be very privileged.
I think my bread's got the coronavirus. Vienna sausages, deviled ham,
Oh, yeah.
all this stuff still on the shelves. Boy, you get yourself some crackers, that deviled ham is delicious. Get yourself tins of sardines.
Deviled
Yummy.
ham?
Oh, Underwood deviled ham with the devil on the label. Oh, it's
I
so
don't
good.
know.
I told my girlfriend to get me some corned beef hash.
I love corned beef hash.
Yeah, I'm going to make some tomorrow for St. Patrick's Day. I know that's not the traditional St. Patrick's Day food, but I don't like corned beef.
You
is
don't
boring.
like a Reuben?
Like a Reuben's okay, but I would rather have corned beef hash.
Corned beef hash is pretty good. It's
I
legit.
love corned beef hash.
Get
but
nice
I
and
want,
crispy.
yes, I want it from like a
can.
little diner that it tastes like it came straight out of the can. I don't like, I've gone to like fancy brunch places like, oh, our homemade corned beef hash, and I get it, and it's like real meat.
Yeah.
With chunks and
it's real meat.
sauteed
It's freshly made.
potatoes.
I'm like, no, the
and-
flavors have to marry together. You
No.
shouldn't be able to tell what's corned beef and what's potatoes.
I want one mushy dog food. That's what I like.
It's the way.
That's what I want
And
when I
then
want
you
corned
just
beef
cook
hash.
it until it gets crunchy on the outside, and that's the way corned beef hash.
put an egg on there.
It's supposed to be great.
Huh.
Some hot sauce. Hot sauce.
How's the egg cooked?
Runny.
Yeah.
I would do over easy or over medium, depending on how you do
medium,
it.
yep.
Poached if you're feeling crazy.
Alan, notice how nobody's talking about vaping anymore.
Because they're like,
Oh.
hey,
that
ease
good
up
or
on your
bad?
lungs,
I
dude.
have several friends that are like on the patch now trying to quit vaping because they're worried about their lungs.
A little too late, bro. I mean,
Hey.
I guess better late than never,
Better
but
late
come
than
on.
never.
I mean,
My friend who is a grocery shopper
they
at
weren't worried
Walmart,
about their lungs every other time they vaped.
she just sent me a picture of like a meat case, and it's just chitlins and liver.
Yum.
That's all that's left.
Chitlins. Get some pickled pig's feet up in this gullet.
Beef liver and calf liver next to two big 10-pound buckets of chitlins.
Do you remember the movie 43?
Oh, God.
Yeah, they had a
Yeah.
whole segment that was basically how to homeschool your kids, and it's them like bullying the kid and making the homeschool experience as much like real school as possible.
Yeah.
So you can watch that. It's on my Twitter at Bill Squire.
I've been bullying my kids all day while I try to work. I shoved my son right into the fridge and called him a nerd.
Yeah.
That's how Mike and Parma's doing it. Good for him, right? He's walking the
I
walk.
met your kid, Mike. He is a nerd.
Walking the walk.
I'm just kidding. He's a sweet boy.
Sweet boy. He's a sweet boy. Well, when you say it
Can
like
you
that,
almost-
I tend to second guess. Alan, I saw a guy with a cart of Thousand Island dressing.
I like Thousand Island.
Of course you do.
What?
Nevertheless,
The hell did that mean?
I didn't mean anything. But it made you think about it. What the hell did that mean?
Is that a poor person thing? What kind of dig is this?
Of course you do. Of course you do. All right, let me break here. I'll get some other things for you.